Hey, my name is Carla Campos, and I'm here with the awesome Jessica Dunbar of Concrete 5. She's going to be speaking at Social Tech Live on content management systems. And Jessica's really cool because I met her at the Joomla Day conference in Tampa Bay. And she was there talking about culture and women in coding and a bunch of great things. Hi, Jessica. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hanging in here. It's hot. How about you?
It's right around 75 degrees. It's perfect weather.
No, I
Here in
think we're
Wisconsin.
maybe at 80 here. Maybe up higher. I don't know. It's hot in here. So, can you tell us more about what a tech evangelist is? Because that's your title at Concrete 5. So, what is that? What do you do?
I think Tech Evangelist is the new marketing of software development. So basically, I talk to a lot of developers all day, every day about our technology. So rather than have a marketing background, most tech evangelists are very passionate about what they do. And we don't have a marketing background. We are just lovers of software. And that's basically what I do. I take care of documentation. I write a lot of blog posts, a lot of writing, and go to conferences and I speak and everything that I love about tech.
And how did you become a lover of tech? Were you always a lover of tech, or is there like a story behind?
I was a nurse before I got into tech. The doctors always came to me to fix whatever equipment was going on, and we had this really old email system that I was always helping with and fixing naturally. And my dad grew up we always had computers, so I just worked on it that way, and then ended up finishing school in computer science and leaving the nursing field. So I have a couple degrees. I have a nursing degree and computer science.
Wow, quite talented there.
Yeah.
So, as a woman in technology, how has your experience been?
Wonderful. I mean, the team I work with now, Corvin, Andrew, and Franz, they're great. I couldn't ask for a better team. In that regard, we don't even talk about anything. It's just we work together, and that's what we focus on. So gender doesn't matter. But we work in an international project, so we have to be sensitive to that. The only real thing that has affected me in a major way is right when I got out of college, I worked with a team in Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. And that was an eye-opener for me because they do not do business, and the way they interact with women is very limited. With us in our Western culture, it's very limited. They expect us to be dressed, so our necks should not be showing, elbows. They expect us to still follow their cultural standards, even when we're in Skype meetings. So women aren't allowed to do business with men alone. And I was working with another sysadmin who did not join us in a meeting, and we went up on Skype, and they immediately hung up on me when there was not a man. That was probably one of the biggest eye-openers for me, and which made me believe in women, support women, and turn into a feminist and be proud of it. But we did work through it. They worked with me the best they could. I could not be a sysadmin. That's what my job title was at the time. Women aren't allowed to be in technology. They could be things like project managers or secretaries. So I changed my job title to be a project manager, even though we all knew I was doing some of the work. That's how we dealt with their culture, and I respected theirs as much as they respected ours, and it ended up working out well in the end.
Wow, that's quite an experience.
Yes, and that was one of my first experiences right out of college was that. So it was shocking. Otherwise, it's been very good.
If you can go back now at this age with the experience you have and in a similar experience, would you change anything of how you acted maybe at the time, or you think you would do the same, you would handle it the same, or is there like any learning experience from that, like on a personal level?
first job out of college, so I didn't want to lose it, number one. But culture is important. And while people in Europe, they think they can come over to the US and, problems we have. And it sounds very simple, right? But we all know if you take away the guns, there's all kinds of changes in politics and things like that. And the same way as we look over there, it seems easy, just work with women like normal. But it doesn't work that way. There's all kinds of political and cultural differences that it's not easy to work through. And I understand that, and I was ready for that. No, I don't think I would change anything, because we worked well together, and I think that was the important part. We got the job done, and we really tried to get the job done. There are differences, and that was
you talked a lot about culture at Juma Day. You talked about sort of the different cultures in open source and a couple of different things like that. So, can you tell us which is kind of like your favorite so far of a culture you worked with and why?
A specific culture. I'll tell you my favorite story.
Okay.
So I worked on a marketing team, and our creative person was from Greece, but she was Italian. So she was living in Greece and she was Italian. And there was a guy on our team from India. And then everyone else was sprinkled all over the world. And it was my birthday, and everyone sang happy birthday to me in their own language. And it was really awesome. So that would be one of my favorite experiences. But I love travel. And I love Europe very much. I love their whole culture. I haven't been to a country where I didn't like anything. But most of my travels are in Europe, so. But I love learning. I love learning and understanding, and we all make mistakes and laugh it off. I gave funny gifts to my friends before, and we've done that. So my friend in India, their cows are very sacred. And here in Wisconsin, we love leather because we're the Harley state. So I brought them gifts from the Harley Museum, and one of them was a leather wallet. And we just laughed it off. Like, it was a big mistake to give them a leather wallet made out of, cows or whatever. But we laughed it off, and we adjust to things.
Well, that's awesome because that means that they show respect to the mistake. Like it was like an honest mistake that you made, not being offensive or anything like that. That's
Right.
really cool.
We do it. The translations and the cultural differences happen quite a bit. So we did a 10-year campaign, and we started using the word decade over and over and over again, and found out in French that decade kind of translates to a bad word, meaning declining or deceased.
Huh.
So and again, we just laughed it off that we were, 10 years together, which sounded like declining together for 10 years. It was kind of humorous, and we changed the wording a little bit, but.
Cool. And what are you doing currently with Concrete 5? Are you working on any cool projects, or what's going on over there?
Yeah, so we are releasing our version 8 very soon. I've been working a lot on that and going to attend a lot of meetups and hopefully a lot of conferences this fall. The other big thing that we have some big projects. We've been working with the Army on some projects. But the release of version 8 is going to be very cool. And we're getting ready for that. I think we have a beta next week sometime.
And what is Concrete 5? What kind of software? 'Cause I'm not familiar with it.
Concrete 5 is the 4th largest CMS, so content management system. And you can build applications, websites, intranets, social sites. You can build just about anything you want on the web. Actually, it doesn't even have to go on the web, just your computer, if you want to run it internally and locally. But yeah, It's a building tool to help manage your content.
Oh, so sort of like WordPress or Joomla, so another system like that.
Yes.
And what would you say to people who would ask, so why should I maybe use Concrete 5 over the other content management systems?
It's a content management system your clients will actually use, and they will enter their own content in. So the front-end user interface is just like Word, and you can drop and drag anything anywhere you want. It's point and click, and it's really easy for the beginning users. And development-wise, we got cool tools as well. But that's what our UI and our UX is definitely what makes us a lot better than other CMSs, or different. I don't want to say better, different.
So when I first started my business, I was like, I need to build a website, right? And I did not know what a content management system was. So I'm there looking for website builders and how do I build a website? Like back in those days when I was just a confused like business owner, a person trying to start a business. And I finally came to Joomla. That was my first system that I ever worked in.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that's how I know the Joomla folks, because that's where I learned. So, like as a business owner, people don't know what I didn't know. And I talk to people right now, it's just, they have no idea what content management system is. So I'm glad that you're coming to the conference to talk about content management systems, because there'll be a lot of business owners there who have no idea what a content management system is. So maybe if you want to touch a little bit on that now, just,
Sure.
content.
I can talk about content management systems. Or do you want me to go into what I'm going to cover in the talk?
Let's talk about what you're going to cover, yeah, and then how it applies to the business owners, and what maybe a content system can do for their business. Because everybody who's a business owner getting into the business world, they want easy, right? They're just like, they call it web builders or simple web builders, and they don't understand like the power of the content management system and what it can do for their business.
Yeah, and I call Concrete 5 a web builder as well, so it's one in the same. But the biggest thing is everyone is on the social media trend. I mean, restaurants aren't even building out websites anymore. They're using Facebook and Twitter and different social media platforms without even having a website. So my talk is going to focus a little bit on that and social authority, and how to make your content easily shareable and where your buttons should be. And then also about comments, commenting systems that you can use. And recently we just went through all of Concrete 5 and fixed up all of our social sharing. So when people do come to our website, it's really easy for the lazy people that maybe don't want to write their own tweet, but read something great on our website, and they push the tweet button and the whole tweet is just ready for them, and they push send. Or same with Facebook, and it picks up the image and people just push send. So that's what I'm going to focus on, the benefits of the integration of social media and your websites.
And that's super important, because I know when I'm busy and running around just on my phone, like I want to tweet something, but then I get a phone call or I get asked a question in person, and then I don't even have time to share that tweet and I miss it. So it's really important that those buttons are there, just because it makes it easier for people who are on mobile or out and about to pass that content on. So, what is your experience with, like, what would be like, let's see, what was my question? Now I lost my train of thought.
Oh, that's okay. I could take a drink anyway.
Yeah, my coffee's back there. So why should companies, put on share buttons on their websites? Some people don't.
It's a little bit more than the buttons, but so I'm not a complete social media expert. I'm more of a techie. But you want content. So for SEO reasons, your social links and the way it links within your website is very important. How many shares you get. So you'll see on maybe Mashable, it'll say this article has been shared, 1,500 times. Generally on Mashable, it's like 1 million or something crazy. But You want people sharing your content as quick and fast and make it easy for them. Where I go to so many sites and you click the share button and just the link comes out. There's not any content with it. And in this on your mobile phone, when you click that and it's just the link, you have to type your own tweet. And it's not easy to do. So if you're lazy, like I am, I'm very lazy. If it's not there for me, I'm not going to share it. So I talk a lot about that, a little bit on conversions, but most importantly, I talk about how you can go from being a social media person and talking to your developers so they can implement it correctly for you.
No, and that's super important because I would consider myself a techie too, but also on the social media because I understand both. I started with the website design side, but not everybody has that. So sometimes when business owners are talking to their developers, the developers are like, "Huh? Like, what are you talking about?" And the developers too, like, don't understand each other's languages. What are your thoughts on that?
It's very true. It's very true. That's where else I think you asked about the tech evangelist position. I think we're a go-between between CEOs and developers a lot, or the end user and developers, so we can translate needs to them. But yeah, it's quite common, very common for that to happen. They want a user or a CEO or marketing person, they want something implemented, but they don't know how to explain it well. And that's really important. Techies, they know their language, and marketing people, they have their lingo. We have, completely different acronyms. And there's a lot of translation. We use the term PR. So when I say PR to you, that probably means public relations. But any tech I talk to, it means pull request. So we always have to talk that through a little bit and say, oh, not your pull request. We're talking about our PR team or whatever.
Yep, and then you're right, exactly. Yeah. You said PR, I'm like, public relations. What is a pull request? Because I do not know that for some reason.
So pull request is from GitHub. And if you're going to make a contribution to an open source project, so you're going to add code to a project or a new feature or fix a bug, you would submit a pull request. And that is basically sending over new code.
Oh, wow, thank you. Well, thank you for that. I learned something today.
Did I explain that okay?
You're a great tech evangelist.
Okay, good. I hope so.
And is the Concrete 5 system free? I'm not familiar with it again, so I want to know a little more.
Yes, we're 100% free, open source. We run off the MIT license, which to developers, that's important. It means freedom. Freedom to customize it any way they want. They can even rebrand it as their own and resell it, and we're okay with that. So Portland Labs is the company behind Concrete 5. So I actually work for Portland Labs, and we make money off of the marketplace and doing projects. Actually, project work is very important for us. Otherwise, we wouldn't know the new features to put into our software. So a lot of our features come from project work and development work.
So sort of like Joomla with your components and plugin type thing in the marketplace.
Yes, we call them add-ons. And that's it. There's not a component. Actually, I think I had a conversion for WordPress has plugins, Drupal has modules, Joomla's would be extensions, and then we have add-ons. So those are the 4 big ones.
Sounds fun. I mean, I really want to try it out and check it out.
It's super easy. You can go to concrete5.org/trial and set up a demo. You'll be going in no time.
Wow. And for look-wise, do they have templates? What do you call the?
Yep, templates or themes. We kind of use it interchangeable because I know it can go either way that way.
And is there something for mobile development on the or?
It comes completely mobile out of the box. So we use Bootstrap framework, which is made by Twitter. and that's included in our software. And a lot of sites are using it now, so it scales everything down for you out of the box. And you can either make your edits on the template that it comes with, or there's a few hundred you can choose from as well.
And I know with Joomla and with WordPress, people can. You said it was open source, so they can develop into the marketplace. Is that
Yes,
true for you guys too?
yes, absolutely. We encourage it a lot. So we have add-ons. We don't have quite as big of a marketplace as Joomla or WordPress, but anything that you can think of. So we have our calendars. There's some e-commerce you can integrate. There is lots of social media features you can integrate to help you out that way. But anything you can think of, you can build.
So this would be also a great platform for people who want to start a blog or something.
Oh
Even
yeah,
for,
yes, yep. It will blog out of the box. It will be responsive out of the box. The big thing that Concrete 5 that we offer is we want everyone to have a great experience. So we offer training and support, paid support, but we also have a open job board where people can submit their requests and get pricing. And our forums, you can get free help all the time.
do you know off the bat like a big name that's using your software?
A big name that's the U.S. Army is a good one.
Yeah, that's a big name.
That would probably be our biggest one. Cambridge University, the University of Illinois. We have quite a few universities. Planned Parenthood.
And how are they using this? As like their blogging platform, their whole entire website?
Their whole entire website. So you can build anything from a simple, 5-page website or a blog to very custom, where you can run e-commerce, you can run your whole business, a project management system, internal workings. People have used it for, I believe, let's see. Planned Parenthood has a pretty custom website, and then so does the Army. But intranets are a big thing. Schools, governments, those are big, and small businesses too.
Yeah, when we get off, I'm definitely gonna check out like the Planned Parenthood and the Army to see like what it looks like. Because sometimes people just want like to see what it can do, like visual wise. So that's always interesting. And definitely we'll tell people about it because there's a lot of business owners who just kind of want to know how to get their content out there and something easy that they can pick up. And if you say it's free, and then just the add-ons might be extra. They're always looking for platforms like that. So thank you for
Right.
that.
You're welcome.
And so you say you guys are working on stuff in the marketplace. So can you tell us maybe of one that you're currently working on?
We are, let me think. We just submitted a new calendar add-on. So our marketplace, internally, we're not working on any new add-ons because we're working on getting our latest release out, and that's what our focus is on. But we definitely put in some features for SEO and some form building tools. So if you are a techie but you don't know a lot of code, you can build an application very quickly with our software. That'll be our biggest new feature coming out.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. And you take requests. So say a business owner, maybe I don't know how they would reach you, maybe a contact form or something. Say, hey, we need this feature. Like,
Yep, Concrete 5, and then I think right on the homepage there's a contact us or about us, and you'll be able to, we have a lot of forms that you can fill out.
and say, I don't want to ask for a turnaround time because it's not like a request like is being paid, but is there like a time period that it would take for a feature to go onto your system?
To get integrated into the core, there's a lot of dependencies. That would be really hard. So a lot of times, if a client has a feature, we will integrate it into the system. Otherwise, we'll put it as an add-on, if that makes sense. But turnaround time, I will tell you, the two developers that I work with, Corvin and Andy, they are fast. They're the fastest team I've ever worked with when it comes to turnaround time. But yeah, that is a very loaded question. So a lot of our projects are, 6 months long because there's so much work, but other things we get turned around the same day.
Maybe an easier question would be, how long has this new version of your system taken? The one that you're currently working on. Maybe that's.
Well, version 7 took 2 years, I believe, 2 years in the making, and then version 8 did not take as long. If I was going to estimate how long has Andy been working on it, I mean, I know they've been thinking about it for over a year, but from now to implementation, our schedule always depends on client work. We deliver our software after the bills are paid, and that's when we release. So it always depends. I would say we've been working on version 8 for just over about a year, possibly. I'd have to ask for sure, but that would be my guess.
No problem. I'm just trying to, kind of see how it works. And are you guys maybe planning something like a Joomla type conference that they have, or like a WordPress? They have little conference. You guys have meetups. Like, what do you guys do in the community? Just
We do have meetups, and I'll be starting one in the Tampa area. Just a handful. That is something I want to expand on a lot. And we'll be attending a lot of the PHP meetups and demoing our new software. So I'm hoping for that. Meetups, we touch base on doing an event, and I think we should eventually, once we get our software out. And I could bring that to Franz's attention again, but it's definitely something we've discussed.
and what happens at the meetups? I'm just because like this is very new to me. Your system's new to me, so I'm like the newbie, probably like obnoxious question asker. Not that I like newbie questions, but I don't know if I'm harassing you.
Oh, everything's good. We drink beer, lots of beer. They're out of Portland, so that happens a lot at meetups sometimes. But some meetups are very structured, so they'll do a presentation on what's going on in the community, and then they'll do a showcase of a website, and then they might do some giveaways, eat pizza, and networking. Other ones, people just meet up at the bar and talk shop.
And is there like a specific type of person that you want to attract to meet up, just to like either business owners, people who want to contribute? Like, what you guys?
Both, really. I mean, both, really. We want our end users, so our business owners, and the decision makers are very important to get in front of. Actually, they're the ones paying the bills and making the big decisions, so getting in front of them is really important. But our developers are just as important because they make the add-ons, they make the community, they work on our software, and so a little bit of both. So I reached out, I got into the social your conference, which I'm really excited about. I have not been to a businessy conference in a while, so it will be a new experience for me.
I'm excited. I really liked your presentation at the Joomla Day Tampa. Yes. So yeah. And do you guys take like maybe some student interns from like colleges who maybe want to work on the project, or?
I do want to get us into Google Summer of Code next year. I had just started when the application was due in January, so I just started at Concrete 5 in January. And that's something I'm going to bring up probably in the next couple months so we can prepare for Google Summer of Code. My team members don't know this. That might be the first they heard of it is right now. But yeah, students, they're really important. I love reaching out to the teachers in universities. And I talked to a few here in Madison and Milwaukee about the CMSs. I mean, that's our youth. If you teach our tools, that's what they use when they grow up. So definitely it's important getting out to students and having them get a really good experience.
and more experienced developers who want to contribute, they so on GitHub or that's.
Yep, that's where we are. On GitHub, most people are our main developers are out there. But we have an easy entry system. So if you find a bug or you want a feature, we have an easier system you can work with if you go to our bug system. So it's not GitHub and you don't see all the code and all the developers. You only see a nice interface that's a little bit easier to submit a bug or a request on our website. And our forums are very user-friendly for people just to come and discuss and give their opinions, their requests. I mean, we have a good dialogue with most of our community.
And how are you guys on social media? You have a lot of interaction there with everyone involved.
We do. I run our social media, and I started a small social media team within the project. Actually, one of them is sitting right over here. I'll point you at her. It's Nina. Can you see her? She's waving. She does our really creative tweets, and I've gotten great reviews on that. But we're growing. I mean, before I came along, it was 2 developers, 2 or 3, 5 developers maybe, and they were tweeting here and there, but not like you would expect. We do not follow any social media policy. We just do what we do.
So you have to like translate the developer to the other side, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we do a little bit of both. I mean, because there are a lot of developers on Twitter and business owners, so we try to do a mix of both types of tweeting and on Facebook as well. So followers, our biggest following I want to say is on YouTube. And I cannot even remember the number.
That's okay. You have to share. I think I'm like digging in there. Like.
No, I just don't know off the top of my head. I would say we have 3,000 followers, a cloud score of 60. I looked that up. That's good, right?
And what do you do there? Like videos of instruction? What do you guys?
Yeah, there's lots of tutorials on there. So how-tos, and then what's coming up in the upcoming versions or news. We used to have a session called Totally Random, where the CEO and the CTO would go on and people could ask them questions similar to what we're doing right now. We also do some webinars for our team, trying to get some marketing people in to give a webinar here on social media or marketing in general, marketing your website, SEO, things like that, along with development webinars. So Corvin and I have been working on that and getting some new faces.
Well, you let me know.
We'll schedule it.
Is it like a video one, or is it more just the talking webinars where?
We do it the same way you do. So we do a Google Live and it records, and
you're gonna put me on the other side, huh? You put me on the other side of the interview.
Yes.
It's only fair. Well, I'm excited to have you again. You know, it was wonderful to meet you at the Joomla Day Tampa. You know, I mean, it sounds like Concrete 5 is amazing and great, and something that it's very beneficial to the business community on my end, and as well as the developer end and everything. So congratulations on the great work that you guys are doing.
Well, thank you, and thank you so much for having me speak at your conference. I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much for coming out. Where are you gonna be in Tampa by that time, or are you gonna?
I will. Yes.
Okay, so you're not. I'm not like forcing you to travel too far.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, everybody. Social Tech Live is the conference. Find us on social media at Social Tech Live, and this is Jessica Dunbar, who you just talked to from Concrete 5, the tech evangelist that we love. Bye, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.